meeting of the Irving City Council for February 26, 2026. It's a pleasure to have each and every one of you with us this evening. Shanae, do we have any organizational service announcements?
No, sir.
Okay, then if you would please stand. The invocation this evening will be given by Reverend Shane Webb of the Woodhaven Presbyterian Church here in Irving. I didn't recognize you with that new hair.
Mr. Mayor, I gave up my hair for Lent. We good? Yes, there we go. All right. Mr. Mayor, esteemed councilmen, and hardworking staff of City of Irving, thank you. I appreciate all you do for this great city. Let's go before our God in a spirit of prayer. Let's pray. Dearest Lord, we come before you tonight, asking your blessing upon this city. This is a good city, and the future for this city is bright. Lord, we ask that you would grant wisdom to these leaders sitting here before us, that the way forward would be made known. God, that this city would continue to excel and be a place that people want to live, work, and play in, just as I do. And God, I'm so thankful for the diversity of this community and the ways that we look out for the least of these, the people that are most vulnerable in our city. So God, we ask that you would help us to be compassionate and to look out for those that are struggling to get by and living paycheck to paycheck. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Webb. If you'd please remain standing, Mayor Pro Tem Block will lead us in the pledges.
Place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, John. Chris, do you have an operations update? We have no operation update or proclamations, so we'll go ahead and start with the consent agenda, which is items 2 through 21. Are there any questions of the council members? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 22 is a resolution considering a resolution allowing an exception to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs 1 mile 3-year rule for the adaptive reuse of commercial office buildings and construction of a new multifamily structure located at 2520 West Irving Boulevard. Shanae, do we have anyone who would like to speak on this item?
Yes, sir, we do. We have Alice Cruz, the applicant, and Michael McFell.
Thank you, Council. I'm Alice Cruz, the owner of Across and the developer of Zelina West, here with Reggie Jennings, one of our project managers. First, I'd like to say thank you for your comments at work session. We hear you. We'll hopefully address some of those. So I'm going to try and go through some of the slides since we've done several developments here in Irving pretty quickly. So we are Texas-based. We have an office over in Benbrook, and we have an office down in Austin. Reggie and I are here local, and we do long-term ownership with a 15-year hold. And like I said, this would be our third LIHTC award here in Irving. Please take note of some of the pictures. This is because Zelina West is a historic adaptive reuse. We've included some of those all throughout. So the top image that you see is our Cielo Place redevelopment. That was the old Riverside Baptist Church in Fort Worth that became a LIHTC property with 90 units. The one on the bottom is Alton Plaza, which was an office building in downtown Longview, and it has been converted as well into 48 apartments. So that's one of our clubhouse amenities, and the top one, Cielo, is an apartment, inside of an apartment in that development. So Zelina West, some quick highlights. Just under 3.5 acres. We are going to preserve some commercial space that came up at work session, the importance of commercial. And we actually have about 2,500 square feet left over in the building that we would love to utilize, and we can get to that in just a second. It is the old Southwest Bank and Trust Company building, built in 1958. So we were proposing to do 72 units, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms with a variety of area median income. So they would hit lots of different income levels for families. As stated in work session as well, we will need to rezone the property. We have already submitted that zoning application. We will be going through the traditional method. I wish we had like a better way of saying that, but the traditional method where city staff reviews and gives feedback, and we go in front of planning and commission, and then it comes before you council. There obviously will be some waivers. For example, we will not be building 8 stories. We will be building 3, things of that nature. So you can see currently, this is the building. As Imelda mentioned, this is the building as if you were, an aerial image. It is the building and a sea of parking. And this is what you are greeted with on your ride into down West Irving Boulevard. So what we've proposed is still subject to change with different variations. The one that Imelda showed you at work session, the site plan actually included more parking. It was overparked, and we've been able to add all these trees kind of next to the single family to allow some more green space, some more trees, better buffer our multifamily with that single family to be more respectful. There's also a few features on here that are compliant with the new design requirements. So we have 50% covered parking, the pool, the playground, the green space, things of that nature that we are compliant with when we go through zoning. So then, this also came up at work session, questions about how we align with the city's strategic plan, strategic goals. So in the city's organizational strategy, which is future in focus, these are some of the highlights about what we are helping the city with, what we would propose to do. So the development of Zelina West is approximately $30 million. Sorry, I don't see my time anywhere. I just want to make sure I'm good on time. Again, the retention of the commercial space, about 2,500 square feet. The redevelopment brings...
You have 1 minute left.
Oh my goodness, okay. The historic designation kind of ensures that the look of the existing building gets spruced up, but would stay the same to keep the feel of the commercial on the corridor, while also allowing for lots of other improvements. We've talked about the trees, the green space, go to the next one. Home ownership is another one that we heard through meetings with council members. We have already gotten Housing Channel, who is the city's CHOTO, who does homeownership programs, they would love to come into our clubhouse and do homeownership classes and financial literacy classes to get folks ready for that next step. Also, currently, the property is only 41% occupied, the commercial space. And so with this reinvestment and the added usage, the property currently only pays about $70,000 in property taxes. So it's incredibly underutilized, and it's not really helping the city, especially in that TERS. So by our estimates, we would just about double the property taxes that are paid, while also putting market pressure on the rest of the corridor and the other multifamily in the area to spruce up what they have, their properties. Next. We can go through this one. Community amenities, you can see these are different amenity spaces. The lower one is our Cielo Place property again. We took the sanctuary space.
Your time has expired.
Okay.
Sure, it's up to you. The mayor says you get, what? Couple minutes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Do it.
Yep.
So this is the future rents. You can kind of see we would have studios. I think there's just a few studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. And again, we would serve a mix of area median incomes all the way from 30 up to 80%. Those, and for Dallas County, the area median income, as you can see on the bottom, is $117,000 right now for a family of 4. And so we really feel like especially the families that are at 60 and 80% are great candidates for home ownership. They just are getting really squeezed in the housing market right now. So that partnership with Housing Channel would be a great opportunity for them to become homeowners in Irving. Okay, community amenities. We talked about the lower image of Cielo Place. You can see community rooms. There's also several of these that, again, are compliant with the city's design requirements, such as the cyber lounge, you guys call them business centers, fitness centers, pool, the playground, and the green space. We would also have on-site property management and maintenance. The unit interiors, we pride ourselves on having top-of-the-line finishes. They are more luxurious for the future tenants, but they are also more resilient, which is another key point in the city's strategic plan, is sustainable properties. So you can see there's no carpet anywhere. There's tile on the backsplash and on the fronts of the islands and peninsulas. Again, allows the property to be more resilient long-term. There's granite countertops, washer-dryer hookups within the units, and all energy-efficient lighting, appliances, plumbing, all of that kind of stuff. Next is the resident services. We've already talked about the last bullet, which is the homeownership classes and referrals through Housing Channel's homeownership program. But there's also, as you would expect on any property, monthly free social gatherings, fitness classes, nutrition. We survey the tenants and kind of see what's needed and what they would like, what they would enjoy, and that's what we do. Next, we always use some on-site public art. These are just some different examples from, we do murals, or if you're familiar with the old Massey's Chicken Fried Steak restaurant in Fort Worth, we bought that property and took that sign down and kind of re-envisioned it with a local artist who was up and coming. So she gets to add to her portfolio, gets a little change in her pocket, and it helps build that artist community in the local area. So here's just some really quick examples of developments. This one is Saison North. You can see the old, oh, you're good, you're good, you're good. It was the old North by Northwest Brewery, so we took the brewery tank and kind of re-envisioned it. And there's one actually in the top floor of the clubhouse, again, just kind of alluding to repurposing the properties. This is Canova Palms here in Irving. Several of you have been here. It's the clubhouse on the top floor for the residents to gather. This is the old, the building on the left is the old Our Lady of Victory Academy in Fort Worth, and the building on the right is the new construction. So this kind of combination of historic preservation while adding a new construction building, this is what we do with it. We complement when you go get a historic designation, as Imelda alluded to, the buildings need to complement each other. Architecturally speaking, we'll also be compliant with city codes, anything that wouldn't be, would need to go through zoning as you would expect. This is another one. This is in downtown Fort Worth. If you look where that glass kind of bifurcates the building on the left is actually new construction. And then the building on the right is the 1917 Benyon O'Keefe storage building. So again, preserving the exterior and taking what is vacant office space in downtown Fort Worth and turning it into housing that's desperately needed. So this is a Mistletoe Station project in Fort Worth. We wanted to show you this because you can see all the storefront glass, because obviously the building in question has a lot of glass on it. And so this would be an example of a unit that from the inside would have storefront glass on the outside, and how that kind of translates into the apartment.
You have 1 minute left of your second 5 minutes.
Thank you. We're just going through pictures. You're good. Keep going. This is a clubhouse in Arlington. That's it. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Michael McPhail.
Michael McPhail, 815 Dixon, Irving, Texas, 75061. Shanae, I accidentally may have checked support when I meant to check oppose. Of all days for my reading glasses to break. Do you want me to go sit back down, or should I just go?
No, do you want to sign up as support?
No, as opposition.
No, it's fine. I got you as opposition.
Okay. Members of the council, city manager. My parents have banked in that building since 1968. I remember vaguely what their bicentennial decorations looked like. I can tell you this isn't a historic building, it's just old, and unfortunately it needs to be bulldozed. I do support redevelopment of that area, but it really does need to happen in the context of full redevelopment of all of Plymouth Park. And granted, the litigation is ongoing, but if we piecemeal it, we could wind up attracting nothing but particular types of development over a period of time instead of getting a good mix of development from the beginning. And frankly, 72 apartments in one space in this area. I live less than a mile from there in Barton Estates. That area wasn't really built for that, and frankly, I don't see the public honestly supporting it. And I would like to ask, has anybody even approached the school district to see if they can handle having that many kids move in all at once? We're closing campuses due to budget cuts. I don't know anything about the specifics, but it would help if somebody asked. And I would like to say, it is a beautiful proposal. This applicant has brought great projects to Irving before. I hope she brings more. And maybe this would work in some other part of the city. But in this one address, in this one building, I don't think it's in the best interest of the city. So I would hope you would turn down both cases reluctantly. I ask you to vote no.
That's all.
Did we have anybody sign up on, in opposition or for Shanae?
That was your opposition.
Okay. Are there any questions of the applicant from the council members? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to deny.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second for denial. Would you please vote? And it passes 8-1 for denial. KO, I think that makes the next item. We have to vote.
No, sir, you don't need to vote on the next item. That renders
okay.
it moot. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 24 is a resolution approving an interlocal agreement between Dallas Area Rapid Transit, DART, and the City of Irving for General Mobility Program funds. Shanae, do we have individuals signed up on this as well?
We have several speakers who have signed up on this, and Mayor, I want to know how you would like to take it. Would you like to take all of them under 24, or would you like to take the ones that signed up for 24 and 25?
We can take them all on
Okay.
24.
So we'll take them all at 24, since everybody really, it depends on if they pass the number 24. So I'm going to call you up in order. Laura Anderson, followed by Robert Sheeks. You'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Laura Anderson, 1425 West Pioneer Suite 114. Today could be Christmas. I am so glad that we're finally at this point where y'all will be able to sign this ILA. We've been living it with a nightmare since February 2nd. February 2nd, the bus routes 225 and 255 were cut. And it cut the jugular of people, working people, and people with disabilities. Those titled to Title VI protections could no longer use the bus. And I'm hoping with you signing this ILA today, and before I do anything else, Chairman Bryant, where are you? Right. I'm so glad to see these people here. They're like my friends now. I've been to Dartford 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and I missed Chairman Bryan on the last time I was down there, but it was okay because I saw him on Andy Summerman's Facebook. He was in Farmers Branch, so he got a pass. These people are hurting. While you are all in this room, please make emergency arrangements for getting those bus routes back immediately. Look, this is not a luxury. It is a lifeline. People are suffering. Don't wait until the next budget process or when you get that $5 million. I would ask that you commit to working together to get those bus routes online immediately so people can quit suffering. I was at a meeting with the mayor, and I was telling everyone how people are suffering from losing their bus routes, and it's not an insignificant number of people, 250 riders on one of those bus routes. Those bus routes weren't cut because they had low ridership. They weren't cut because they have high subsidies. The only reason that it was declared that they were cut was because they were in one GO-Link zone. People entitled to Title VI protections cannot use GO-Link. It's not an option for them. They don't have phones or they're elderly people. Please get those bus routes back immediately. Sign the ILA and let's work together, both the DART board and the city council, to get this back. I was telling you I was at a meeting. I only have 13 seconds, but a man said, Laura, can't they sue? So I went and Googled. This exact same thing happened in Pennsylvania with the SEPTA system, where money was being drained for high-dollar trains.
Thank you, Laura. We've got a lot of speakers tonight.
Thank you.
Kurt Sheeks, followed by Michael McPhail.
So I won't get to speak on 25 then. Thank you.
Robert Sheeks, 1903 West 5th Street, 75060. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad that looks like negotiations have been successful. Was it poker? Anyway, congratulations to the board and the city. But let's hope it pans out, that the draining of funds doesn't lead to a proliferation of Uber-like services that add to congestion and emissions and are priced out of a lot of people. That's reach. But anyway, we're in a growing stage of growing pains, and we need to think beyond just this moment to the future of mass transit. And Irving is in a position to shape it, I think, because we're a growing city, we're a big city, and we got good people. Thank you for the work you're doing, and let's keep it up.
Michael McPhail, followed by Kajal Patel.
Good evening. My name,
Kajal, Michael's gonna go first, and then you're gonna go. Yeah, no, it's no worries.
Michael McPhail, 815 Dixon, 75061. Councilman, I have to admit, I thought this was a high-risk play. You won. Good work. Thank you for reaching a compromise with DART, getting this on the agenda for tonight to hammer everything out. I agree with the previous speaker. We do need to restore the two bus routes. The Uber-like services that have sprung up to try to replace them. We've heard a great deal of testimony from folks who've tried to use them and said they're more headache than they're worth and very difficult to deal with. So restoring the bus routes would be the better option. And of course, please vote to cancel this election. We just need to get things going back the way they were, and hopefully DART will behave better in the future. Thank you.
Kajal, now your turn. Kajal Patel, followed by Rink Desai.
good evening. My name is Kajal Patel, 3924 Yogi Way, Irving, Texas, 75038. I am here to share my concerns about DART. I strongly support canceling the May election and accepting the negotiated agreement. I want to thank our city manager and mayor for their hard work in reaching this deal. If we do not accept this agreement, it could greatly impact our residents. Those who rely on DART may struggle to get to work and travel around our city. Even those who do not use DART will still be responsible for paying the existing debt. This agreement may not meet every expectation, but it provides stability and a path forward. With the refund the city receives, we can improve bus routes, restore stops where possible, and make service more reliable. I respectfully urge the council to act in the best interest of all residents and move forward with this agreement. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Rink Desai, followed by Liz Mendoza.
Ring Desai, 1753 Hanover Court, Farmers Branch. I just wanted to say I'd like to thank the City Council and Mayor. Thank you so much, and City Manager, for all the hard work that you put in to make this happen. A deal was made. As one of the previous speakers had said, it was a shot, right? And we went ahead and took it, and we got something that's good. The City of Farmers Branch did rescind their vote for the May election, and I request that the City of Irving do the same. My wife has a dental practice, Cottonwood Dental, just down Beltline Road. And on a regular basis, we see people who take the bus and get off, and they ride the bus regularly. That's how they commute around the city of Irving, or they'll go to the train station and take the bus and go down to downtown and other places. We become like a hub here in the city of Irving, and we can definitely see that everywhere that we go here in the city. And being a business owner here in the city, this bus routes and the train stations, the DART system is very imperative. For that reason, I'd really like to request that we rescind the vote on the DART election for May 2nd. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do.
Liz Mendoza, followed by Randall Bryant.
Good evening. My name is Liz Mendoza, 1223 St. Reggie's Drive, Irving. First and foremost, thank you for working with DART on the interlocal agreement. I support approving this ILA. With that said, my understanding is that reinstating Route 225 and 255 are not part of this agreement. Whether through the ILA or however necessary, we must reinstate these routes that were halted as of February 2nd. Without these routes, we are cutting lifelines. The riders of those routes are predominantly members of our most vulnerable communities. These two routes go to the Homeless Day Center and vulnerable communities that include seniors on fixed incomes and those under Title VI protections and whose only form of transportation is DART. They need these routes to get to and from work, to get to doctor's appointments, and to the grocery store. Please reinstate these routes immediately and approve the interlocal agreement with DART. On that note, I fully support the rescinding of the special election on May 2nd on whether to keep DART. Let's continue to keep an open dialogue with DART and continue working with them to keep our public transit in Irving. It brings people into our city to eat, to visit, to play, and it takes people out of Irving and into Dallas, myself included. I work in Dallas, and I bring the paycheck home to Irving. We were told in the fall, when you put this up for a vote, whether or not to put DART on the ballot, and we expressed that we did not want this on the ballot. And I'm here to tell you once again, we do not want this on the ballot, and we want to keep DART in Irving. Thank you for your time.
Randall Bryant, followed by Jonathan Angel.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. City Manager, Randall Bryant, Chairman of the Board for Dallas Area Rapid Transit. It's been about, I think, 121 days since we embarked upon this process. I think I've been here 5, 6, or 7 times, and I'll just say if dartboard chair doesn't work out for me, I can always give guided tours of this building because I've seen all the rooms that it has to offer. But on a serious note, we've made a lot of progress. The continual thread that I've said at our dartboard meeting, as well as every council up until this point, is where we are is not perfect, but it is progress. And the commitment that we made the last time we were here was to work on these solutions to make progress on the governance, the funding, and service. This council, I believe, has already approved a resolution towards the governance. DART wholly supports that item. We have worked in coordination with your city manager and, of course, the superb KO, who did all the hard work, I will admit, on behalf of this city and all of our city attorneys to reach the agreement that we now have on the funding solution. It of course, provides guarantees, minimum guarantees to the city, but also a pathway for the future. And I think hopefully that's the most that we were asked to task to come back with in these 140 days or 120 days. As you've heard from speakers, and I've heard them, as well as our board members here have heard them speak to the services. That's the last pillar that we need to work together on. And I believe just as we work together on the governance and the funding, we can do that as well on the service. And so DART stands here committed to that task and committed to the future working together with this city. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Jonathan Angel, followed by Sharon Barbosa Crane.
Jonathan Angel, 4002 Doubletree Trail, Irving, Texas, 75061. May it please the council, I encourage y'all to make sure that Resolution 24 and Ordinance 25 be adopted. My name is Dr. Jonathan Angel. My first home was here in Irving, and my current chosen home as a taxpayer is here in Irving. We are stronger together. Eastland County Elections Department, unfortunately, is seeing the consequences of some of its decisions to try to forgo unity at great expense and great difficulty with their election right now. And I encourage all here to vote to make sure that our tax dollars are directed as we see fit. But I also encourage us to give towards just causes, and this is a just cause. DART has acquiesced to Irving and other cities' concerns about wanting more of a voice in how our taxes are used and spent. Some of that control will strengthen with these ordinances. Let's meet them at this reasonable compromise. My name is Dr. Jonathan Angel, and I see firsthand how difficult paying for transportation to my clinic for life-saving care is. We are stronger together. Interlocal transportation cooperation has brought our Metroplex the best airports in the world, with DFW being one of the busiest in the world. I encourage us to continue to work together towards building our transportation to make sure that DART and the rest of our regional transportation network continues to strengthen our growth.
Sharon Barbosa Crane, followed by Susan Motley.
Good evening, Mayor and Council Manager and staff. Sharon Barbosa Crane, 2608 Alanadale, Irving, and it's a long way from all the way back there. And so I've come before you this evening just to say thank you. I want to thank, especially thank the mayor and the manager for the leadership in this, and for the rest of you, all you council members, for the way that you work together. We appreciate the effort and the work that you have put into this situation to bring these two items to us here tonight. And we're very committed, most of us in this city, to see that things work. And when we see our council work this hard to come to a resolution, we really appreciate it, and we want to be part of that resolution. And so for that reason, I say I'm very happy to look forward to your voting yes on both of these items. I think it's for our benefit. I support public transportation, and I support solving the problems that we have with our public transportation. The work is just now beginning after you vote for these things, and I'm hopeful that our residents will be as committed to helping you make this work successful as they have been in letting you know that they would rather not have an election, but they would rather have solutions. I do hope that you will continue to work until you have these two routes restored. This is a significant part of Irving, and I'm familiar with the routes and familiar with what they do, and want you to really think about the fact that it is so truly important to so many people that you find a way for them to be restored. And we will be just as appreciative of that as we are for this larger thing of you getting a resolution to go forward with our public transportation system. Thank you very much.
Susan Motley, followed by Patricia Owen.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Hillman, City staff. I am recovering from a cold and keep coughing, so I'm going to keep my comments short. Following Sharon Barbosa Crane is never anything I want to sign up for in life because she is an eloquent speaker. So I will keep it short by doing this, saying ditto. Please vote yes for both of these items for 24 and 25. And I do want to just particularly thank everyone who has worked so hard on this negotiation. As any long-term relationship, anybody that's been in a long-term relationship, whether it's personal or business, things need tweaking from time to time. And you have done the hard work to get some improvements in place. And I want to thank you for that. Like Michael McPhail, I was a little afraid of what y'all were doing because of the risk of losing DART in our community is so great. I want to echo that these other routes, the 225 and the other route that have been removed, are important, and please continue the very good work. I want to thank both you and DART for doing the hard work needed to get this ILA in place. Please sign it, accept it, and then rescind the election. Thank you.
Patricia Owen.
Patricia Owen, 1506 Ross Drive, and I want to thank you, Mayor and council people and staff and DART board that have all worked to compromise and make this go forward to this point. I'm so grateful. Please approve both of these items, council, but also I'm in Councilman Block's district. We are devastated by the loss of these bus routes. I'm here not only to represent myself, but my family is the owner of the Meadowbrook Heights Apartments. We're a low-income property. At the front of our property is the Southeast Irving Community Center, and everyone that comes there, and about 50% of the people in our apartments need these bus routes. They're elderly, some of them are disabled, and some of them are mentally challenged, and they cannot use a phone to call and do these things, but they could work the bus. And if you've never had to rely on public transportation to get yourself to get groceries, to get your children to their doctor's appointment, to get yourself to your doctor's appointment, it's easy to say that those two bus routes might not be all that important. And money is always an issue. But please, I am once again here to beg you, let us not think about money all the time. Let us find a way to serve the people that truly, truly need to be served. We are a good city. We are a generous city. We are a kind city. I'm assuming that the DART board is the same. These are the people that need it. It is lovely for people to be able to go and ride the train into downtown Dallas to work. I think that is fabulous. But it is far better for one of the apartment residents or one of the people that visits our community center to be able to go and buy food on their own, to be able to get their child to a doctor's appointment. So I beg you, please, I love the compromise. I love that you've worked so hard on this. Please, please find a way to restore our bus routes. Thank you.
That's it.
That brings us to the end of our speakers. Did we have anyone that signed up for or against as well, or?
Yes, but I'm just putting them in the record.
Okay. Seeing no other speakers, I'd bring it back to the council for discussion. Al?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to thank our friends from DART that are here tonight. Chairman Ryan, I can hardly see you, so good to see you. For Mayor and my associate friend from our days at ARCO, Carmen, and a member of the board, thank you for being here. Mayor, I would like to put forward a motion to accept item 24, resolution approving the interlocal agreement between the Dallas Rapid Transit, DART, and the City of Irving for General Mobility Program, GMP,
We have a motion, a second. Is there any discussion before we vote on it? Abdul?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a comment on that. After hearing all the constituents, the importance of DART for our communities, and I would like to thank Chairman. Good to see you here. My support will be for the resolution based on a belief that we are going to work hard in getting those two routes back to the DOT system. The ones which are 225 and 255, which is really affected. At this point, we haven't heard any commitment from the DART, but on the basis of understanding and working together to restore that, if that's the case, then I would like to support this resolution.
Any other comments? Luis?
Yeah, just following up on what Abdul said. Obviously, it has been a very, long discussion, and to some extent for many, many years, since, for the last 5 years. Now, when it comes to this ILA, we were initially asking for 25% back. We're getting 7.5%, which is, it's better than nothing, obviously. We are not getting, however, those two bus routes, 225 and 255 reinstated. And we're also not getting a cap on the debt. They can still run, get us in debt. And we have no say on that, at least for now. And they have agreed there have been some resolutions from Dallas when it comes to the governance part, which is the critical part. The money part is fine, but at the end of the day, a 5% discount, a 7.5% discount, it's not like you go to the store, you see something that is 7.5% and you're like, give me 10, right? It's not that big a deal. When it comes to how the thing is actually run, that's really what's going to make the most difference long-term for the residents. And that does need the state legislature or, radical measures like pulling out, which has many implications that have, to some extent, like we don't have a lot of clarity on what that would mean. And so I will be supporting this item, but to some extent, the negotiations have been only partially successful, and there's a lot of work to be done. So we'll keep working towards that.
Any other discussion before we vote? Seeing none, I will go ahead and just make a few comments. First of all, these are always challenging times when you have major projects like this, and when we start looking at the years of how much time we've spent and the dollars, close to $2 billion into the development. And I think the real challenge for us is to really have a reset of understanding of the dollars that are put in and the value on the return. It's always interesting because sometimes the routes that we don't realize because they're not as full or because the people there don't respond as much are the most critical when you start to realize that they are the vulnerable. And it is in an area of our city where we are very fortunate to have community development block grants to build parks and to build the rec centers and things of that nature because they are challenged financially. And so this is one of the issues that we face. And so these two routes are critical to a lot of our people who have been in the city of Irving for many, many years and have raised their families and are now trying to, in their senior years, or have some health problems and really need the services. So as we move forward, I think that's our number one goal, is to try to make sure that we have those residents that are the most vulnerable taken care of. I also want to thank the Chair Randall, for his work on this. It's something that's been going on for at least two legislative sections, and we really had a challenge in getting people engaged. The issues we've been talking about for the last year and a half were really until he got involved and really got Dallas to come to the table and have discussions, serious discussions with us to actually get things done. We really were kind of trading against ourselves, trying to figure out what we could give in order to really move the project forward. So I want to thank Randall for all his work on it and his commitment to making sure that he could follow through. He's following through on this recommendation. I agree that the hard work is now ahead of us because realistically, I have a belief that working hard and everybody working together, that we can get to that 25%. I think that's something that we need to not look at as an impossible goal. I think that needs to be the goal in the future. So I think our work is really ahead of us. As we look at the options that we have, if we look at creating another entity for a rail and those type of things are going to take a lot of ingenuity, a lot of thinking, and a lot of working together with our different council of government, with our RTC, and with our cities to make those things happen and really truly develop a regional rail system rather than just a Dallas system. So I want to commend everybody for their work. KO, for you and your team. I know that you brought the Gene together with Plano and yourself and worked diligently till 2, 3 in the morning on a couple of these on the contract to get the ILA together. I want to thank you and your team for taking the leadership. Thank Gene and his team, and thank Plano Paige and her team for doing it as well. Chris has been there at every meeting. He was one of the first to volunteer. He's been working on several things for us. He was instrumental in working on the ILA, which allows us to enter into TIF agreements with DART and become partners in development of land around rail stations. So, Chris, thank you for your work, and then in the council. We've had a lot of robust discussions, but at the end of the day, we're here. None of us are mad at each other. Nobody's yelling at each other. We all respect each other's positions. Some will agree, and some will vote yes, some will vote no. Maybe some will all vote yes, maybe some will all vote no. But at the end of the day, we all respect one another and are acting in a very civil manner, and we appreciate that respect that we have amongst one another to move forward this. And the commitment that you have here by these gentlemen, many of you know I'll be out of here in about 62 days, but you have the commitment of all these gentlemen sitting up here and staff to continue to work hard to make this a successful project. So thank you all for all you've done, as well as the DART board. Thank the board for their indulgence as well. So we have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And I think it's unanimous. Okay, we'll take on the next item, which is the ordinance considering and reconsidering cancellation of the order and notice of the special election to be held on, excuse me, May 2nd, 2026, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters the question of whether to continue Dallas Area Rapid Service DART in the city of Irving, subject to the continued collection of sales tax for a period required by law, repealing ordinance number 2025-11194 in its entirety, providing for a servability clause and effective date, and an effective date. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would anybody like to speak?
Yeah, maybe just some comments.
Sure.
Is there anybody else?
Luis?
That's pretty funny.
I think Al's going to speak too, but go ahead.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, obviously we put this on the ballot, and then suddenly we got DART's attention for the first time ever, and we were able to get a deal to the table that actually addresses to some extent some of the concerns and might be the start of something much bigger. It is true, the concern that I find a little bit unsettling is what happens like 5 minutes from now when this is not on the ballot anymore. Like, do we lose all the negotiating power that we have? And then to what extent some of these things, especially the governance part, which is the most critical, doesn't really have the teeth, And then we might be in a situation where it gets watered down, it doesn't really happen at the state legislature, and then we're stuck in the same situation where we really, are not able to give the transportation that residents need. On a personal note, I grew up in Europe, I grew up in a European capital, and for most of my life, my family didn't have a car, because I would just walk from my doorstep to 20 feet, and I would have a subway station. And there would be trains every 5 minutes, and they would work. I could go anywhere with that. Well, we're very far away from that. And DART has not been delivering despite being our number one budget item. And there doesn't seem to be a really great plan right now to get there, even with these agreements. So I do think that there are some benefits of leaving that on the ballot. I think it's good that every 6 years, the residents, we have sort of a real poll where we get the opinion of residents, and I think we could see customer satisfaction based on how each area of the city votes, right? I think there's going to be, if we were to leave it on the ballot, we would see some areas that are actually low income being extremely against DART, and it's like, well, that's an area that needs to be serviced better. And now, even if we left it on the ballot, I don't think there's actually a risk that we would pull out. So that's not a concern, and I do think that all 9 of us in council are totally supportive of mass transit and public transit that works, hopefully, and that actually delivers to people that need it the transportation that they need to make their lives easier, and especially to get ahead when they're in the most difficult and challenging moments of their life. So with that, I'm not expecting that we will keep this on the ballot, but I do think that it's a good thing to have referendums periodically on major matters, and this would be one of them. And we'll see what happens. But regardless, I am 100% in favor of finding solutions that work, and of keeping. If we stay in DART, of course, we will have to keep working with them to ensure that the governance model is addressed. That needs the state legislature, and to be fair, the story of the state legislature, it's almost like they just hate us, right, Chris? This is something that we show up to the state legislature and we're like, hello, we're a city. Could you please do this thing that is going to be great for us? And it's almost like they take notes and they're like, oh, you would like that? Let us do the opposite. That's how it works for, right? That's how it works for revenue, for taxes, for zoning. So this hopefully will be an exception, but it is also kind of a bold move to put our trust and to outsource our decision-making to the state and to the DART board on these important matters when both of those entities have failed us repeatedly in the past. So whatever happens, you have my commitment that I will work to ensure that the service is better for the money that we put in, and that we do have a service for people that need it. But those I think are valid concerns, and perhaps some symbolic opposition to withdrawing from that could be helpful to send that message that to some extent a lot of the trust has been eroded by broken promises in the past, and there's reasons to be concerned.
Al. Thank you, Mayor. On a more positive note, I'd like you to know how much I really appreciate all of you that have come out in support of us staying in DART. We made our decision very clearly, but it's because you showed up and you let us know what you thought. And so we're with you. I'm a very, very positive proponent of rapid transit, and you know that. Randall, you still owe me lunch, by the way. That's all. But it shows something very important. I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank the city manager, not only and our staff, but this city council is going to vote unanimous again. That tells you that we care about doing it right and that we want to look forward, but we're not done. We all know where we're going with this, and hopefully we can get a lot of more support coming down from and a part of the friends of ours in Austin. But I want to thank you for coming. You've been here every time. I want to thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, and same with you, Chris. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to be with us and let us know how you feel. Thank you.
David.
Thank you, Mayor. My first priority is always our citizens of Irving. That's what we got elected here. I'm born here, been a resident my whole life. But looking at the region, we have to be regional players, and we have to always have a good seat at the table. We are right in the middle. We'll always be in the middle of this Metroplex, and I think you'll see the leadership always here step up. So Chairman Bryant, I've never seen it, and Mr. Schlegel, maybe you can give us a history lesson, but you got the North Texas Commission, the COG, the RTC, DART, all these member cities, or most of us, getting together and actually getting things done that are positive for our region. So I appreciate your hard work at this. I think it's day one that we pulled out or put it on the ballot. So thank you for sticking with it, and thank you for all the hard work you did. For a city, couldn't be more proud of our city manager. That was great work, KO, you and your team. But number one, Mayor, I don't get choked up, but we only got 6 meetings left. So this is a good crowning achievement from what you've done. So I really appreciate it, and I think we all owe the mayor a round of applause too for all of us who are really see your leadership. So thank you.
All right. We've got a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes 7-2. Thank you all. That brings us to our zoning cases. Shanae, at this time, if you would wish to speak on any of our zoning cases, if you'd please stand, our City Secretary, Shanae Jennings, will swear you in.
Please raise your right hands and please stand if you're going to speak on a zoning case. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that all statements to which you will make tonight to the City Council of the City of Irving will be the truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Shanae. Item number 26 is ordinance 2025-429ZC, considering a zoning change from R6 Single Family Residential 6 to SP2 R6 Generalized Site Plan Single Family Residential 6 with a variance to the carport encroachment 20 feet into the 30-foot established front yard setback at 1815 Durham Street. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this?
No, sir.
We had a great discussion today. I'd entertain a motion on item number 26.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? We got one that's not voted. Okay, there we go. And it passes 8-1. Item number 27 is ordinance 2025-444ZC, considering a zoning change from CN Neighborhood Commercial to State Highway 161 Overlay to SP2 CN Generalized Site Plan Neighborhood Commercial and State Highway 161 Overlay with variances to required parking setback at 4201 North Beltline Road. Sinead, do we have someone with us to speak on this item?
No one signed up?
We had a great discussion on this. I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a question.
Sure. I'm sorry.
See, for Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, we have a question for you.
Sorry, I should have asked this at the work session, but the parking, is it going to line up with the CVS next door?
Yes, at the Planning and Zoning Commission, they asked that same question, and they showed a picture, and it'll be pretty much exactly what the CVS was.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? I've got a motion. Can I have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, let's vote. And it passes unanimously. The next item is ordinance 202615CP, considering abandonment of a comprehensive plan future land use map from business office to traditional neighborhood at 103 East Pioneer Drive. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up on this one?
No one.
No one signed up?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. The next item is ordinance 2025449ZC, considering a zoning change from CC, Community Commercial, to R6 Single Family Residential 6, 103 East Pioneer Drive. Sinead, do we have anyone on this one?
No?
I'd entertain a motion or
Motion
discussion.
to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 30 is 2025-456 CUP, considering a conditional use permit to allow a residential assisted living facility in a R254 family residential district at 819 Bluebird Drive. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up on this?
Yes, we have Philip H. Fowler, the representative.
Do we have anyone other than the applicant? Sinead? Just the
No,
applicant?
sir?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Philip Fowler, Arlington, Texas, 76017. I'm a licensed architect. I'm representing a Irving resident, mother and daughter that will be the owner-operators of these two facilities. And I'm just here to see if there's any questions that I can answer.
Are there any questions of the applicant? John?
No questions, just motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously.
Thank you, Council.
Item number 31 is an ordinance 2025-457 CUP, considering a conditional use permit to allow a residential assisted living facility in a R254 family residential district at 811 Redbird Drive. Are there any questions of the applicant?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. And that concludes our regular agenda for tonight. We're going to take a
No, we
brief.
have item 32.
Oh, special fence. I almost got you. Item number 32 is a 2025-477 SFP, considering a special fence project plan for an 8-foot-tall wooden fence within the required side yard setback on a reversed frontage lot at 10504 Waters Drive. Thank you, sir.
Ahmad Halabi.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, and city staff. My name is Ahmed Halabi, and I live in Irving, Texas, 75063. I'm here today to request an approval to reduce the side setback from 15 feet to 10 feet in order for us to install a privacy fence and a sliding gate to provide a safe play area for my kids. Here on the slideshow, this is the house, and this is where the fence will going to be with a sliding gate. I have a 2 cul-de-sac here, so traffic is minimum. We don't have a lot of traffic coming in this area. This is the site plan. If you look at the survey here, on the sideline, on the side yard, the fence will be outside the 7 feet utility easement and the 3-foot site easement. So we're keeping that in mind to keep it safe in the neighborhood. This is the side view of the side yard from Lily Court. It will be this here will be the 10-foot setback instead of 15. This is the corner view, and then this is the alley view, where is the driveway and the sliding gate going to be. This is existing corner lot with a lower setback than what we are requesting tonight. And I have applied for our Valley Ranch associations to extend the fence with, extend the fence with the same materials, height, and color. And I got approval from them last week on Thursday. And at the end, the reason why I'm doing this is just to provide a safe play area for my kids. I do have 3 kids at home with a newborn. We have a limited backyard due to the existing pool and no game room inside the house. So I truly appreciate your approval, and I'm here happy to ask any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, I have a
Discussion?
comment. Yeah, so the setbacks exist in that area to preserve the look of the community. And so varying from that by coming 5 foot closer to the road, I think set the precedent for a disruption in that look for that community. It affects the aesthetic, and so I don't support the case for that reason.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Would you please vote? And it passes 6-3.
Thank you.
Now, that concludes our regular agenda. We're going to take a brief pause for a few minutes, and then we'll begin public comments.